All right, good evening, everyone. Looks like it's 7:30, so we'll start by reciting the Pledge of Allegiance if you choose. Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. We'll start off with, I would certainly entertain a motion to accept the agenda. Suggested motions and resolutions. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Jones. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Anna. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed, motion passes. So next up on our agenda, we have our superintendent's report. Dr. Lewis, I'll turn it over to you.
Thank you, Chair. I am going to deviate for just a moment. We had two items that we did not have time for in our work session, so I'm just going to bring those into my superintendent report, even though there's no slides on that. The first one is our Achievement and Integration Plan update. This was sent to you yesterday in my email. It just talks about where we are as far as our Achievement and Integration Plan. As a reminder, school districts in Minnesota receive funding. We write plans 3 years at a time. This is our final year, so now we're in a writing year. Dr. Cochran is the lead on this work. We also, since we're part of Northwest Suburban Integration School District, we also write those plans together. So our plans are still unique. So Osceo's doesn't read the same as Fridley's, doesn't read the same as Brooklyn Center, but we do have commonalities in that because of our shared goals around achievement and integration. So that's on the consent agenda for you tonight. It's just showing that we are not meeting our goal with respect to proficiency within our Hispanic Latino students with respect to reading. So that's area that we need to continue working on. As you heard about in the work session, we're doing things like Avid Excel, some different professional learning, etc. So that is the achievement and integration update. And then election canvassing meeting, we had wanted to talk to you about that. So per statute, we can schedule our canvass between the 3rd and the 10th day after the election, which will be Friday, November 7th through Friday, November 14th. Chair, I'm going to take a little bit of liberty here to work with you all to get this scheduled, if you don't mind, so that we can get that date over to Anoka County Elections Office. So the possible date times that we are proposing here, Board, is Tuesday, November 11th, 7:30 or 4:30. Remember, Board, we can do all but one is could be virtual, right? So we would just need one board member physically present, but every other board member could be virtual. So please look at Tuesday, November 11th, either 7:30 or 4:30. Wednesday, November 12th, 4:30 or 5 o'clock. Thursday, November 13th, 7:30 a.m. Chair, do you mind if we just lock in a date and time right now?
No, not at all.
Thank you so much.
It looks like the 11th is the holiday too, Veterans Day.
Okay, so let's take that off. So, team, I know Wednesdays can sometimes be hard for families. Is there anyone that cannot make November 12th at 4:30 or 5 o'clock? And I'll pause for you to check your calendars.
I'm good. I was good. I was good. So good. 4:30
Wow.
or 5.
Did we land on this?
We did.
How about 4:30?
Let's do it.
Should we do it in the superintendent's conference room?
Is there anything else we need to schedule real quick while we're all in the mood?
Board, we'll do this in the FHS, the conference room, right by my office. So 4:30, November 12th. And as a reminder, that meeting will be 15 minutes. So I can't believe we pulled that up. Correct. So if you need the virtual link, when Lori sends out the reminder email, just let us know and we'll set it up virtually for you as well. Jake, can you be there in person?
Yeah, I can do that.
Good, so then everybody else can be virtual. By the way, it doesn't have to be the chair. It was just easier for me to ask him. So, okay, sounds good. Thanks, board, for letting me finish up those 2 items. It is now my absolute pleasure to welcome Matthew Hammer, who's with Ellers, our financial advisor, and then Rochelle Cox, assistant superintendent, who have some great news to propose to you around our bond resolution. So please come up and welcome.
You ready to go?
You know what? I'd love to introduce Matthew Hammer, who has been just such a great partner and advocate for Fridley Public Schools. So I'll let you take it away.
Yes. Yeah, so good to see everybody again. It's been just since last month, but we've been watching one of the district's bond issues, actually both the bond issues that were issued back in 2016. The 2016 A issue was the voter-approved bonds that were authorized in the election in 2015. That is going to be at its call date as of February 1 of 26, which makes it eligible to be refinanced. The other issue that was issued goes back to bonds that were issued in 2007 that were refunded back at the end of 2016, and that issue as well is going to be at its call date. And with municipal securities, they all have individual coupon rates, and those interest rates are 4 or 5% on those outstanding maturities. And what that means for us right now is, based on current market conditions, we're anticipating we're going to be able to save interest costs for taxpayers. And anytime you enter into a refinancing, the savings have to go back to taxpayers to reduce future debt service levy. So that's by statute, that's the only thing that the money can be used for. And right now, as we look at the outstanding maturities, the 2016 issue goes out quite a bit further than 2031, but the maturities that we're targeting that are going to create some refinancing savings go out through 2030 or 2031. So those maturities have 4 and 5% rates on them. And right now, we're anticipating we'll be able to save between $400,000 and $500,000 of interest cost, which aligns good with where we're at with our long-term facility planning process. So I think right now, there is some things that we're going to have to work through. One of them is that we have to close after January 1, because if you go back to the bonds that we issued earlier this year, we did that in a pretty strategic way where we issued less than $15 million, which allows us to qualify as a small issuer. And what that means for the district is they get to earn interest earnings, which have been favorable, right, as part of the initial bond proceeds that are sitting in the district's construction fund until they're needed. But if we would enter in close on a deal before the end of the calendar year, then that arbitrage benefit that we're getting would go away. So we're going to be looking to close on the bonds sometime early in calendar year 26. And as part of that process, we're going to do it a little bit different. You'll see that we're planning to negotiate the deal with an underwriting firm called D.A. Davidson. That's going to allow us a little bit of efficiency on the sale process. Based on how far out the maturities go, we're actually just going to get a credit enhanced rating instead of a full underlying rating, and then it'll give us a little bit of flexibility with our when we go to market with those bonds, sometime probably as early as December, but it might end up moving into the calendar year in 26. So really what we have in front of you tonight is just the authorization to give us the authority to look at how we can try to maximize that savings and reduce property taxes for property owners. That would start with not taxes payable 26, but as soon as as payable 27. And then those maturities, we're hoping to be able to generate between $400,000 and $500,000 of tax levy savings. So I can answer any questions folks have. There's a lot of details that'll go behind the scenes. We'll be working with Rochelle and Brenda closely over the next few months and coming up with what we think is the most advantageous time to bring those bonds to market to try to maximize the savings that taxpayers will see as part of the refinancing. And big picture, really, right? We're just selling new bonds, just similar like how you'd refinance a home mortgage, right? The goal is to lower the interest cost. So big picture, that's really what we're trying to accomplish. We have bonds that we're paying a certain interest rate on. We think we can pay at a lower rate, and we don't need to continue to pay at those higher rates.
So, thanks, Matt.
Sounds
you,
good.
Matt.
We'll talk to you guys
Appreciate
soon.
All right. So now I am so thrilled to have Ayana and Malik present their goals for the school year. And then we also have a bonus presentation next month. They're going to talk about their learning and next steps as a result of next week's Student School Board Conference. So we'll turn it over to you all. And Lori will advance your slides.
So basically just some of our goals that me and Malik just want to accomplish over this next year is helping student voice be recognized more. That's probably like our main goal. And creating a better transition for student board reps, because it's still new, so just making it better for everyone. And introducing students to the school board more. Within the district, at every single school, no one really knows what the school board does. So just making that more known and having people have the right idea of what everyone's job really is. Growing as a district and even a community, just making everything better. Learning our role and how we can do our part. That's another thing that we'll learn a lot about once we go to our field trip next week. And expanding our connections to the other schools, so talking to the elementary schools more and the middle school.
Yeah, okay. And so pretty much what we hope for, biggest thing, is to bring schools together, to connect and make more transitions, and make communication smooth in general. So of course have a presentation every 1 to 2 months to show the whole school board what we're up to and what we're doing. And then another big thing is to have student and staff feedback on problems and issues that we think could potentially be solved. I want to tie this back to a situation I remember from last year. It was in my English class. I remember there was people who came in and they gave us all in the class a specific survey to fill out. And I remember it was based off of how we, the students, were feeling in the school. And I think if we did that, promoted that to the whole district, it'd be a pretty good thing, just so we can bring it back to the school board and we can all see what we can improve on and what students in the whole district are thinking. So, yeah.
Oh, and then obviously our upcoming, event, just learning more about our role, and then report back at the November meeting, hopefully. And we will. Any questions?
Any questions?
All right, thank you.
Good job, you
Appreciate
two.
both. Well done. All right, it is now my delight to welcome Alota Sims, Inclusion and Family Empowerment Coordinator, to talk about our next upcoming Family Welcome Breakfast. Welcome, Alota.
Good evening, Superintendent and board members. Good afternoon, good evening. It's a little chilly out, but it's a good evening. So I'm here to talk to you guys about the welcome breakfast. This will be our second year doing the welcome breakfast. We piloted last year at the middle school when Dr. Cochran was there. The goal for the welcome breakfast is to make sure that we're breaking down barriers for families that are new to the country and families that are EL students and EL families, to make sure that we're bridging the communication between school, family, and also navigating school systems. So this year we're doing a pilot again at Hayes Elementary School and Stevenson Elementary School. I know, right? We're going to serve a nice breakfast. So this is going to be nice coffee, just like you guys see on this photo. We will be having a nice breakfast for our families to come on in. It'll start at 8 a.m. to 8:45 at each elementary school. Hayes breakfast will be on November 7th, and then Stevenson's will be November 14th. Both events will be held in the media center. Last year we had a great turnout. I was nervous. It was the first time doing this. I know this is something that is real dear to us when we think about equity and inclusion and bridging gaps and also breaking down barriers. When you think about our EL students and having that language barrier. And so this is an opportunity for our Hispanic families to be in attendance, our multicultural coordinator to be in attendance, our principals, our EL teachers. We're also going to have technology there to help navigate parent portal. And we're also going to have communication from our social workers. So we want to make sure that all of our families feel welcome, feel invited, and also feel like they can come to anybody within the district to make sure that their needs are being met. And so again, it was piloted last year. We had such a great turnout. This year we actually invited over 68 families. So I think I know we're going to have a wonderful turnout, and you guys are all invited, board members. Please come on out, enjoy some breakfast, enjoy meeting our families, our principals. Invitations went out this week, so I'm so excited to wait to see everyone that comes out. I will have a follow-up report for us to do next month with great pictures. As you can see here on this picture here, this was such a great event where families got to really ask intensive questions. How do I navigate? How do I talk about conferences, right? How do I navigate parent portal? Who is the connection when we think about grading? So this is a great opportunity for families to really stay connected within the schools that are new to the country, new to our district, speaks a different language, and we will have interpreters there. So we are really feeling a need in our district when you think about equity and inclusion. This is what we're talking about, and this is the commitment that we are doing. With a commitment from the board and our superintendent, we are here to make sure that we're breaking down barriers for our families and also within our community. So this is going to be a great event. I would love to see you guys all there and definitely look forward to a follow-up. Any questions for me? Yes. I sure will. Thank you so much. Yeah.
Can you just provide me the time?
So Hayes, it will be November 7th from 8 to 8:45, and then Stevenson's welcome breakfast will be November 14th at 8 to 8:45, and they will be in the media center. Any other questions? Thank you guys so much for allowing me to come and share.
Thanks, Lola.
You're so welcome.
Amazing job as usual. Board members, I'm going to tie this back to the second conversation that we had in the work session as to why it's so important that we center our students and families every single day and every single action. And you see, we are inviting families that are new to the country. We want them to feel welcomed. We want them to feel safe in our spaces. I will say that the welcome breakfast last year was planned in advance, obviously. It was the Friday after inauguration, and that Tuesday is when sanctuary designation for schools was eliminated by executive order. We were very worried that we wouldn't have a turnout for obvious reasons, and we were packed. And so that speaks to how our community feels safe with us, feels protected by us. And again, looping back to earlier, it's our responsibility to keep with that and to really ensure that all partners involved in the safety of our families understand what that actually means. So, amazing work. Next, it is my delight to reintroduce Dr. Cochran from the work session now here with an academic achievement update. And this is so exciting and jam-packed. Sorry, board, we're just dealing with some feedback.
I know,
on
yes.
this
I
side
think
of
that's
the
why I moved
table.
over here.
So
Sorry.
we're trying to figure out who the culprit is.
Yeah,
So,
I'm sorry.
anyway, yes.
Well, thanks for having me. I'm super excited to share just our an update from our academics department, specifically with our work with Lavinia. And so I know you've heard a lot about that last month, and so just wanted to give an update on some of the work that we've been doing. Excitingly, our cabinet members have joined into the professional learning, and we will have 10 sessions over the course of this school year. And I had our first one last week. That's really grounded in helping us also learn all the best practices that our instructional leaders and our principals are learning, so that we can really support them in the buildings. And so over the course of the year, the whole focus of our learning sessions is how can we make sure that we're supporting our principals and instructional leaders. Our first session, we really talked about mapping school health. Like, what does it mean? What does that mean? What does that look like? How do we know if the school is healthy per se? And then really on the cabinet, as you know, each one of us has a very distinct roles, right? From transportation, food service, obviously academics is the most obvious one, but how does each one of those roles on our cabinet play into academic achievement? And so transportation is equally important to our students' academic achievement, right? We need to make sure that students are here on time so that they're not missing. We need to make sure our students are fed so that they can stay focused on academics. So we really focused on that distributed leadership and what is each person's role on cabinet in supporting academic achievement within the buildings. We each made commitments to what specifically might be getting in the way from our departments, and then how can we really work to track data, making sure that we're staying committed to that. So that was our first session. Our future sessions, really, again, we're going to do some observations in classrooms. Really, again, what does intellectual preparation look like? We talked a lot about that last month, so that we at the district level really understand what's happening in our classrooms, and then how can we best support that when we're in talking with principals or talking within buildings. How do we measure success in our buildings? How do we know if what we're doing is working? What does our progress monitoring look like? And then, of course, as we near MCA season, we will be launching achievement season in our buildings, and really, again, at the district level, what's our role in making sure that we're supporting that as we enter into MCAs. Then in the buildings, just a little update from kind of each building and the things that they've been working on specifically related to like our work with our consultants with Lavinia, and then also within academic achievement. Both Fridley Middle School and Fridley High School have had 2 full day professional learning days with our consultants focused on whole school systems. So the high school specifically has been focused on like transitions and timeliness. We're really focusing on that kind of PBIS work and the building really strong cultures. They've done a lot of work around practicing as the adults in the building. What does that look like at transition time? What is my role as an adult during transition time to really help students get to class on time? How do we reinforce that? Our leaders are really doing lots of data taking right now and like norming on what does the system look like. We've had lots of focus on the first 5 minutes of class and the last 5 minutes of class, making sure that we're really maximizing that instructional time. We've done a lot of essentially like maybe thinking about like a lab site where they see this in action, so they like get it, teachers are getting it modeled to them, and then they're practicing it themselves, and then we're taking data on it and giving like real-time feedback. So there's been lots of that like looping, and then our leaders are doing a daily debrief at the end of the day where they're really looking at the data that they're tracking. Our middle school, very similar. Those full day PDs have looked really similar. I would say the one difference is at the middle school, they've really focused on a kind of a what to do cycle. So they're really focused on instructions that they're giving to students, and what does that look like to make sure that we have 100% students on task in class, and what does that look like when teachers are giving directions. So that's been kind of their focus. Both of those have been done through like this warm demander. How do we balance warmth with also setting high expectations for our students? Our elementary schools, which I didn't talk a lot about the last time, have also had some work with our Lavinia consultants, specifically with leaders. And so our principals, instructional leaders, literacy coaches at the elementary schools have had a lot of work right now on, again, really practicing. How do we help teachers prepare for their lessons? Wit and Wisdom is launched new this year for K4, and so there's been a lot of work around really unpacking the module so that as leaders we understand what teachers are preparing for and really are able to support them. And so that work has been done with us looking at it. Today we had our Wit and Wisdom trainers on site with us, and we were in observing classrooms and then really talking about what does that look like in implementation of the curriculum. Like, are we on track with implementation? Where do teachers need support? Like how can we make sure that we're helping them? Also over at Hayes, they've also done some lab sites where the coaches have gone in and done a lot of modeling of the lessons again, and then teachers are teaching the same lesson and then getting that real-time feedback and coaching. And then lastly, I would just say the other thing our leaders are really focused on right now is how are we giving feedback to teachers? So what does that feedback loop look like back to teachers so that if we're in observing and in a non-evaluative way, that we're really able to help coach teachers. And so lots of practice just with our leaders right now, with our coaches, so that we're getting really good at it so that we can then implement it into our classrooms. So lots of work being done over the last 8 weeks of school with our Lavinia work. Any questions?
Awesome. Any questions for Dr. Cochran?
Yeah. Just more of a comment. You know that I love this stuff. I mean, there's so many things that we have to do in the district to balance the district operationally in many ways, but this hits to our core purpose. And I love seeing this kind of progress. And I also, the term warm demander, that's fantastic. That kind of summarizes the role we want to play. And I just commend you guys on coming up with that.
Thanks, Ross. I think we're good. Thanks, Dr. Cochran.
Thank you.
Excellent work, Dr. Cochran. Thank you. Next, I'm thrilled to share that FPS got a $60,000 grant for our work, continued work with cybersecurity. And as you know, just like every other institution, we're always vulnerable and we're able to really stay on top of this. And we've been seeing some upticks and things, but we just have a continued tech team that's really been evolving. We've filled a lot of vacancies. Lori oversees tech, and she's just put together a phenomenal team. So this was just another bonus for us to get the $60,000. So we're really excited about that. One of the things that we're really working on this year is recognizing our teams. So there's National Teacher Day, etc. So these are the days that we've been able to push out on our social media. So Ed Tech Recognition Day was September 23rd. I think it's such a cutie picture. Then we had HR Professionals Day on September 26th, another cute one. Then our National Principals Month, you probably saw this, these same pictures here pushed out on social media as well. Our Custodial and Facilities Staff Recognition Day, October 2nd. Our Instructional Coaches Day was on October 6th, and our Athletics Coaches Day was also, we celebrated on October 6th. So we celebrated both coaches there. So we're going to bring these days that we celebrate each month to the school board as well. It's just a nice way to elevate our folks. And I'm a little competitive on social media, so Lori knows that if I see another school district post something, what do I say? Correct. And she knows she has how many minutes to get that up?
19.
Less than 5. What did you say, Chair?
19.
19.
But
That's
clearly Lori
generous.
has a different standard than other messages that go out.
Director Meisner, what was your minute?
19.
19. Yeah, she's like, I wish I had 19 minutes. Anyway, so we love doing these push-outs as well. Now we're so excited to welcome Assistant Soup Cox again to share with us about our construction updates. Yay!
Right. We are in the process of finishing up a lot of things and starting some new projects. So here you see our single-user restroom remodel. You see some of the old pictures here of where we started. These are almost complete. We're doing the last of the inspections right now. We have an electrical inspection coming up, as well as an occupancy inspection in the next week. We're still waiting for 2 of our sinks to arrive. They actually just left Los Angeles, so we're very excited to greet them when they arrive here in Minnesota. We actually put in temporary sinks so that we can move forward with the inspections so that things don't get slowed down with that. So looking forward to our 2 new sinks to come in, and we'll be ready to go. Fridley Middle School and sinkholes. It's been a complicated relationship with our sinkholes. We this fall found 2 more sinkholes. These were located in a back grassy field that our students use a lot for recess time and for outdoor activities. So it was really important that we address these to prevent any injuries moving forward. So these sinkholes, we have a lovely picture there on top, have been filled. We are waiting till October 27th. We'll be having new construction where these will get redug out from the temporary fill, and new concrete structures will be put in place to solve the problem permanently here. So a lot of work going on with our sinkholes. It's interesting when you look at them, the symmetricalism of them, and how they're connected, the two sinkholes. So we're hoping that the concrete structures we're putting in will prevent any further issues in the grassy area. And then finally, wanted to update you on our baseball fields. Our softball fields are about 75% completed. Depending on the weather, for our baseball fields, all concrete and dugouts will be completed by the end of this week. So we're really excited about that. The grading will happen next week. And then everything is pretty much complete. We are waiting on some netting to happen so that we keep our equipment in our own property instead of bothering our neighbors. So that will be up and in place too. So hopefully the weather will cooperate and we'll get this project done. So we're ready to go. New projects, we're already in the planning stage. We have architect drawings. We're now going out for bids so that we're ready to go, and we'll be starting projects in January, starting with the FCC basement remodel, hopefully, and then looking further into our athletic fields and stadium areas, as well as the middle school for next year. So more to come as usual with construction.
Excellent work. And Rochelle and Lori are hearing this just for the first time. One of the work sessions in the spring, we will do our golf cart tours so that you can see these updates. So,
Great.
Yes. So we're excited about that. Start date. So when the calendar was set, we were very reasonably optimistic that the legislature would allow a before Labor Day start. Yay, they did, but not before September 1. So our first day of school is August 31st, initially for the 26-27 school year. So we are looking at asking the board, it's on the consent agenda, to move that to September 1st, 2026. We've already worked through the calendar committee. They agree to the change, and we are wanting to follow the law here. So any questions on that? Okay, sounds good. We didn't know that September 1 would slip in there, and that's okay. It's an easy fix. And then we're so excited for Tuck Everlasting. That's coming up here right around the corner with our dates here on the poster of November 14th through the 15th, 20th, 21st, 22nd at 7 p.m. And that's presented by our FHS students. And then there was an addition this year where some middle school students were also invited to be in the musical with certain parts. So really exciting to have that come, which is right around the corner. And I'm going to pause here and double check with the brains of the organization. I think I hit everything, right? Okay, so now I will turn it over to board members for their updates. Sarah, or Board Member Jones, you're rostered here first if you want to share.
Great, thank you.
Yep.
For the 9/16 board meeting that we had on October 1st, there were a few different parts to it. We had a presentation on our language access plan. This was given by our multilingual learner team in 9/16, and in that district there are over 40 different languages spoken, and the families that speak languages other than English make up 26% of the families in that district. So that was a presentation that we were received, how the connections were going to be established and what the process looks like in the district to make sure that all of those families are getting the access to our schools there. The second was that we had board policies that were approved for this month, and then they had their insurance renewals, their health partner renewal for their health insurance, and also for dental. So that was it.
Thanks, Sarah.
Yep.
I'm sorry.
Well, you have some?
Yeah, I was just reviewing the Northwest Suburban Integrated School District notes, and there isn't anything that particularly stands out. It was a pretty typical meeting, but I also want to highlight that we did have the youth and government kids come to an event. Do you want me to talk about that now or later?
This was perfect.
So we had a Clean Water Action hosted their annual Brunch for Better event, and we have a group of advocates and legislators that we give awards to, and it's this really great event over brunch that brings community together under the common purpose of celebrating clean water. And we had a wonderful group of youth and government kiddos who came, and they got to meet legislators and county commissioners and other policymakers. And learn how to network. They met some funders were in the room, and other nonprofit advocates. So that was quite exciting that we were able to bring together my two worlds of Clean Water Action and Fridley Public Schools.
Awesome.
Thanks,
you.
Anna.
And there are great pictures on the Clean Water Facebook page, by the way.
A lot of good pictures. And I was unable to attend the AMSD, so I don't have a report.
Chair, do you mind if I just share something from that?
Yeah, absolutely.
So the demographer, the Minnesota State demographer came and presented. I was there virtually. I think, Sarah, you were there virtually too. And really the overlying message is birth weight rates continue to go down pretty rapidly, and that impacts most Minnesota school districts. So as I had shared with you a few weeks ago, we're over 100 ADM, average daily membership, over our budget again this year. So I think that really speaks to, with the decline in birth rate, us still coming in over where we had projected. In a district with 40,000 students, 100 students over is marginal, right? When you have a district of our size with 100 students, that's a huge win. So in fact, somewhere St. Cloud Public Schools was featured on their huge uptick in their over projection, right? What MASA, yeah. And the Minnesota Association of School Administrators, Lori forwarded that to me, and they had this huge uptick like we did, and I figured out the percent, and I'm like, we are the same percent uptick. Why did we not get featured? And I wasn't even happy for St. Cloud, and I love their soup, but I literally sat there with my phone calculator and was like, we have the same percent. But I'm proud of St. Cloud, but we should have gotten covered too. So we will get that coverage. But anyway, so it was really interesting to hear that demographer, and really her message was, and keep me honest here, Director Jones, the only growth we're going to see in Minnesota is through out-of-state move-ins, which is pretty low, and out-of-country immigration. So we want to keep growing our cities, growing our infrastructure. It's through immigration from out of the country, right? And I think our district models that well, right? So that's really the future of Minnesota, which again, I know that I'm overemphasizing this. This is exactly why I appreciate when I bring issues up to you about ICE coming to school district events and how we cannot tolerate that legally or frankly from a core value standpoint. It's for this very reason. Schools are designed to be safe spaces, period, full stop. With that, Chair, I'll turn it over to you.
All right, let's move on to the action items for tonight. First off, I would certainly entertain a motion to accept a gift from the FBI Minneapolis Citizens Academy Alumni Association. They provided care kits for Fridley Public Schools students in need. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Meisner. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Anna. This is a roll call vote. Miss Anna?
Aye.
Miss Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Carnup is aye. Mr. Meisner?
Aye.
Miss Schreiner?
Aye.
Miss Stark?
Aye.
Mr. Baugh? Did I not pronounce your name right?
Huh?
I pronounced your last name right, didn't I? Okay. You just weren't paying attention?
I was caught off guard. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, you get a vote. That's the cool thing about this. Miss Shoby?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next up, we have a resolution. I would accept a motion for a resolution discussing the general obligations school building and alternative facilities refunding of bonds, Series 2026A that we heard from Mr. Hammer earlier today. Do I have a motion?
So moved.
Motion by Jones. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Meisner. Another roll call vote. Miss Anna?
Aye.
Miss Jones?
Aye.
Mr. Carnup? Aye. See, that happens to me too. Mr. Meisner?
Aye.
Miss Schreiner?
Aye.
Miss Stark?
Aye.
Mr. Baugh?
Aye.
Miss Shoby?
Aye.
Motion passes. Next up, we have our consent agenda, which covers several things that are in the agenda. I would certainly entertain a motion to accept the consent agenda.
So moved.
Motion made by Stark. Do I have a second?
Second.
Second by Anna. All those in favor, please signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? Motion passes. Next up, we have a few dates to discuss. Important dates. We have the Hayes Team Tower Works Night, September 18th from, well, this is already gone, right? Nope. Yeah.
Hold on.
Well, so we can go 7, 9.
I have my computer here.
Oh, okay. We got one here. Yeah. Okay. So we have our Youth and Government launch on October 25th, all day at the Fridley High School. We have Fridley Middle School Wrestling, grades 6 through 8 begins on October 27th, obviously at the middle school. No school for staff development on November 3rd. No school for planning and evaluation on November 4th. We have the ECFE Fall Festival on November 8th at the Fridley Community Center. Girls Gymnastics, grades 7 through 12. Girls Basketball, grades 9 through 12. Boys Hockey, 9 through 12. All begin on November 10th. Vista has a family fun night on November 12th, 5 o'clock at the Vista Education Center. We have excuse me, preschool family IB night on November 13th here at the Community Center at 5 o'clock. We have the Fridley High School Fall Musical, Tuck Everlasting, November 14th, 15th, 29th, 21st, and 22nd, all at 7 o'clock at the District High School Auditorium. Boys basketball, grades 9 through 12, and wrestling, grades 9 through 12, begin on November 17th. And then our next Fridley Public Schools Board meeting will be on November 18th, work session at 5:30. Open forum at 7, God bless you, business meeting at 7:30 here at the Fridley Community Center. Are there any other meeting or dates
Yes.
that we have come up?
On Thursday, the 23rd, Fridley is co-hosting with Clean Water Action and the Coalition for Plastic Reduction a free viewing of Plastic People, The Hidden Crisis of Microplastics. It'll be in the auditorium. Doors open at 6. The movie starts at 6:30, and we will have a panel with experts immediately following.
Awesome. Thanks for that, Yvonne, and thanks for organizing that as well. Any other
Chair,
dates?
Can I just volunteer, and it's a review, but I just want to publicly state it. Our canvas vote is on
November 12th at
Thanks,
4:30.
Chair. Yep.
Cool. Awesome. If we don't have anything else, I would certainly entertain a motion to adjourn.
Move to adjourn.
Motion made by Meisner. Do I have a second? God bless you. Second by Schreiner. All those in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All those opposed? We are adjourned at 8:12. Thank you, everybody.